Welcome to the Emerging Startup at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is the cosmos and beyond, reaching for the stars. We have with us Akshat Mohite, co-founder and CEO at Astroborne Space and Defense Technologies. He's a scientist, astronaut candidate, and a TEDx speaker. Akshat is revolutionizing the future of human spaceflight by making it more accessible and affordable. With an impressive repertoire of international research, entrepreneurial ventures, and space advocacy, he is a shining beacon in India's burgeoning space industry. So, welcome, Akshat. This will be an interesting conversation. I just remember this episode of Apollina, where a female young girl is preparing herself for becoming a space astronaut.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me over to this session. It's great to be here.
So let me explain you the format.
Yeah.
Uh, there are three rounds: the professional, personal, and a rapid fire round, for which you have to be witty, fun, and quick. And for your startup, you'll get this book autograph
Okay.
sent to you as your New Year gift. So, friends, I'm Lain Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. And we help law firms, corporate legal, startups, SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Akshat, what sparked your interest in space exploration as a child? Was there a defining moment?
A defining moment I'm not sure of, but then since second standard, I would say I've been fascinated on becoming a scientist. I don't know if everyone knows this movie Krish. There was a movie with Hrithik Roshan, and there was Dr. Mehra as a character in that movie. So when I looked at Dr. Mehra, I had somewhere in the back of my mind decided as a child that, once in my life, I want to work as a scientist, work inside labs with a lot of equipments, and that kind of fascinated me. So I started working towards it. Went to my father, asked him a lot more about, what he does because he's from a pharmaceutical background. So I started asking him about different chemicals, this, that, which sounded cool. The interest kept on growing. In 10th, finally, I took up physics as my favorite subject and excelled in it. Came to my 11th, 12th, and finally got one opportunity from a seminar I attended to write a research paper. So that's when I wrote my very first research paper and got selected by NASA Ames Research Center. Now that I could see, my dream getting a path which I could follow and become a scientist, I just grabbed it. And yeah, here I am. So it was a long journey, I will say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, thank you for leading to my question. Next one, about the NASA. You got an appreciation letter from Director Kennedy Space Center, NASA. So,
Yeah.
how did this come about? So, from our viewers out there who would like to go for such organizations and how they can be uh, for research work, for learning, and all those things, how they can your experience will help them.
Okay. So back then what happened, I was like 17 years old 16 or 17 years old when I got selected into this conference. I was invited there to Los Angeles and was able to connect with a lot of different people like Mike Mongo and everyone who is currently an astronaut himself. So during this journey, I just could feel one thing that, okay, Akshat, if you could do it, then there are a lot more people, many people who could do it better than you maybe. Because I have been a backbencher, scoring less than 70% in my entire lifetime. And if my research paper can get selected, then why not others? So I started working on towards that dream, started the space society called National Space Society Mumbai chapter, that is the main organization is in the US. And we were awarded with a lot of awards, such as the Global Outreach Award and everything. And looking at all of these efforts to promote STEM and space awareness in India and guiding students from the very sixth standard to masters or anywhere, NASA director from the Kennedy Space Center recognized it, and he himself reached out and provided us with the letter and the NASA golden pin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue your interesting journey. You have done research and published in 10 publications. Uh, so how did this come about and how did it help in your space training, astronaut, and your other projects?
Okay. So I feel I've always been curious about technology, about now to even about business and entrepreneurship. So this curiosity led to a lot of different questions, a lot of different discoveries, and I needed a way to bring that out to everyone. And research paper seemed like a really good way to put it out. As my journey itself started with research paper, I started, finding different ways, different opportunities wherein I could research with different people from, let's say, ISRO or from any other organizations. Now, during this process, I was able to actually work on various different papers, such as be in propulsion system, it could be in material science, it could be in heat shield or space settlement. So there were like a lot of different domains I could work along with as well. And how it shaped my journey, I feel being a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid, if I wanted to be heard, if I wanted to be recognized, I had to do something that was a bit different and not just go empty handed asking for opportunities. So I feel that when I had this tag of a speaker in a conference, that, okay, I am one who's going to present my research work here, then I was able to get a lot more opportunities, a lot more cards. Getting business cards at that time was a big achievement for me. I still remember. So yeah, that thing really helped me a lot.
Wow. So, how did you come with this name of Astroborn, and what are your projects or activities as a startup you have taken up, and how far have you gone in your journey as a tech astronaut tech startup?
Okay, there's a funny story behind Astroborn. So you must be already knowing that choosing a name is so difficult while registering a startup. Like you keep on receiving constant rejections from MCA that, okay, this is not gonna work, that is not gonna work. And one fine day we were, left out with zero options with us. We were like, okay, we don't have any name to register with. And my co-founder is like, okay, there's waterborne, there's airborne. We are working for space related mechanisms, taking people to space, so why not keep the name as Astroborn, something that is related to space vehicles? So I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. So that's how Astroborn, actually it took place. Earlier, we started with space training facility, astronaut training facility, this, that, there was a lot of it. Talking about the progress, today we are at a stage wherein we'll be soon testing out our in-space propulsion engine that we have developed in-house, utilizing fuel that I obviously can't disclose right now, but we feel that it might be one of the pioneering fuel in the Indian in-space propulsion industry. Along with that, we have also developed the architectural designs for our analog habitat that we're planning to set up in Ladakh, for which we'll be again traveling to Ladakh pretty soon for all those approvals and government stuff that's going on. We were able to get along with investors as well, got into the legal process of signing the term sheet and all that's behind it. So yeah, there's been a massive progress. I feel the start was very slow. The reason it being slow is because there were no space policies as such when we entered into this sector. Like on paper, we didn't know, anything about astronauts, training an astronaut, crew module, nothing. Over the period of time, we developed the team, the government worked on developing these policies, then things got a little bit easier for us. And now we are at a good pace, I would say.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
impressive. So now, as you shared about the training, uh, so your company, Astroborn, is paving the way for private astronaut training in APAC. Can you walk us through the most exciting part of this venture which you have come up?
Yeah, so basically, as you know, I myself have trained as an astronaut in Florida. So I went to this G push training, hypoxia training, and then spacesuit donning, doffing, all such trainings that allowed me to understand how does an astronaut train, or what are the difficulties faced, and every minor aspect behind it. So I somewhere was just sitting back working as a CTO in Space Sonova, and we were developing something for microgravity experiments. And that time I just thought, okay, everyone is focusing on satellites or rockets, and the market is also already saturated. Like, how many more companies will come and develop the same thing? We need to focus on something that's a gray area. And for me, the gray area here in India, I feel, was human space flight. And that's how the idea of training astronauts came forward, because that was something I was personally trained at. Now, what we are planning here in Mumbai, in India, is that we'll be training government astronauts, commercial astronauts, and space enthusiasts to understand how astronauts are training in different fields like egress, ingress training. Then we'll have the high G-force training, hypoxia chamber training, spacesuit training, and all such trainings. Along with it, the analog habitat, so wherein we can simulate certain environment that is same to Moon or Mars, providing them with limited resources as they might have gotten real time up there in space. And then we will study the human psychology and the health behind it and how the experiments are going. So it's a lot of, I would say more than a building, it's itself a laboratory that we're developing, wherein people will be completely isolated for weeks and weeks.
Wow. So let's go to the next activity of yours. What inspired you to focus on making human space flight more affordable, and how does Astroborn plan to achieve this ambitious goal?
Okay. Again, a funny story I will say. So, I have always wanted to become an astronaut, fly up to space, and just take a look of Earth from the outside. Like that would be a dream come true kind of a situation. So I trained and everything, and realized, okay, if I want to fly from NASA, I need to be a US citizen. And if I want to fly from a private crew module from SpaceX, then I at least need like what, millions of dollars, which I surely didn't have back then. So I came up with a mission. Okay, I need to do something with which I can make space tourism or space travel or transportation way more affordable for people, way more flexible, and way more, what we say, accessible. So with this dream, I started working towards it. Right now, the way we are trying to go towards it is strategic collaborations. We have some MOU signed with reusable rocket companies so that we can bring the launch cost down. And we are personally working around the material science of the entire thing, the crew module part, so that these materials will enable us to bring the cost down as well. So that's how we are currently approaching it, and are pretty much positive that we'll be able to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
the best part, I get to launch myself in the test flight. So what's better?
This will happen in Mumbai.
No, no. This right now we are focusing on Bangalore itself.
Okay, something interesting happening in Mumbai, so we can have what do you say, a special episode to be part of in action, see Astroborn's activities.
Indeed, indeed. The engine testings or the training facility, all of this would be focused in Mumbai itself. So you can obviously come around and take a look at it anytime you want.
Thank you. Let's plan out. Yeah, our team will plan out this. With Coffee Corner, we're doing special episode also. We have done walk tour of our art gallery,
Uh-huh.
then Pure Sin, a chocolate cafe bar, like that. We have done special episodes.
Okay.
So these are like where uh, the person, our coffee speaker,
Uh-huh.
he's come up with a solution or product, or he's got a place for something like this art gallery. So
Correct.
something where it can be apna, showcased at a special episode and talking about. So this art gallery episode, please watch out. So where Rishi Ratsetti, he was earlier with apna KPMG, left that organization and started this of creating wealth through art.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's a very interesting niche area he's taken up, having art gallery exhibitions, then in valuation, then transferring of this high value art and sculpture, so many things. He's also come up with an ebook also.
Oh my God, I'm surely going to take a look at it exactly after we.
Yeah, so like that's why I said
Yeah,
there are 300 plus episodes. Each coffee speaker has something to offer for the viewers, listeners, and inspire them.
makes
So let's
sense.
continue. So, Akshat, your role demands dual of innovation and leadership. My question is, how does a tech startup founder who's into technology field balance both roles of innovation and leadership?
I would say this wouldn't have been possible without my co-founder Rinkesh. Rinkesh is the CTO at Astroborn Aerospace, and currently he's been helping me out manage everything from the tech side, which is why I am personally able to take a look on the administrative side, fundraising, collaborations, market, and all of this. Otherwise, it would have been a pure mess, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then, this doesn't mean that my tech side has moved away. Right now, it's also, if I just rotate my screen, it's all of these calculations and pages stuck everywhere. So that never goes away.
yeah, yeah. That's that is a need.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next question will be, how has this private equity VCs have taken to your tech startup or your or what you can say, someone in the space of space exploration, space flight. How has their response been to your tech startup and not from the private? I'm asking about the startup incubators set up by the government.
Okay, interesting. So the moment when I entered into the startup, and we had immediately realized that this is something that we are going to require high capital for and cannot be worked upon with personal funding for sure. So as soon as we got done with a bit of documentation, pitch decks, finance decks, projections, we started approaching venture capitalists, angel investors, incubators, and everyone. Like it was let's say a war kind of a situation wherein every day we wake up and we're just calling or mailing people up. The response initially wasn't so well because in India, people have seen rockets, people have seen satellites, but human spaceflight is something everyone was like, ye kabhi hoga bhi, and is it even possible? So with this kind of response, we started, but over the period of time, as and when ISRO started, making developments, ISRO started, putting out their missions out to public. That kind of grew confidence into the investor segment, and then the response started changing. That okay, Akshat, maybe if you try to do this or you follow this different path, then we might be interested. So that is the kind of positive change I could see. Other than that, talking about incubators, we are personally incubated at IIM Ahmedabad, CIGO. So the very first meeting, I was completely scared. I still remember I was shivering. That okay, what was going to happen? There were like these 10, 12 people in the IC committee who were there to question me, and I was sitting alone. But then, yeah, we got in. They supported us a lot throughout the journey. The incubators have been very kind, very considerable, and very much visionary, I would say, because that's what they do. They support, and that's been amazing for us.
Interesting. Okay. So my uh, last two questions. One is for tech startup founders. What advice would you give to tech startup founders? Because there is a balancing of dual role.
Correct.
I'm referring to my early question of innovation and leadership. So, what advice would you give to tech startups for balancing this demanding roles?
Um, First would be don't fall in love with your product, because as a tech person, we always keep on working to make our product better, to make our product innovative, to make our product something that the world has never seen. But in this process of loving and improving our product, we forget the fact that there's a cost involved behind every single thing. And behind every innovation, I'm going to make it a little more unaffordable for the end consumer. So that is one thing. You need to be open to changes. You need to be open to, iterations. You need to be open to entirely shifting the goals of the product. So I feel being flexible and not being in love with the product are the two most important things. And next would be just, um, you know, make your responsibilities clear. Like if you have a co-founder, distribute it. That's the best thing. If I'm handling tech, then I will try not to handle other parts like operations as well, or the execution or administration. Otherwise, it will be all jumbled up.
Very good. Very true.
Yeah.
So my last question, what advice would you give to young professionals aiming to enter the space industry in India?
Young professionals. Okay, that's a good question. Um, I have been seeing that everyone is trying to follow a mainstream path, wherein they're finishing their 10th, 12th, bachelor's, they're going out for masters, maybe even pursuing PhD. So that's a pretty good route to follow. But then you are skipping out on almost everything in this journey. So I would rather say that doesn't matter if you're in your 11, doesn't matter if you're in your ninth grade, go out, connect, network with people, ask for opportunities. Don't be shy to ask, because there are so many opportunities put out from Astroborne itself, or NASA. ISRO is putting those out. So take those up, grab those up. Maybe while you're in your bachelor's, you might already be an integral part of the space ecosystem, and you wouldn't have to wait until finishing your PhD. So yeah, network and keep looking for opportunities.
Wow. Okay, so let's go to the next round and understand Akshat as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Okay, so I have been living with my parents, like my mother, my father, and my grandmother, who recently passed away like a year back, a year and a half back. But then, yeah, I've been let's say a fun kid, mischievous kid who's been running all over the place every time. Someone who's just can't be sitting at a single place for more than 5 minutes at tops. We have been traveling from place to place because of my father. My father was an entrepreneur himself, so he started a lot of different ventures, and then finally we came back to India. He focused on my studies at top. He was like, okay, my son should always be taught in the best of the class education. So it was like IGCSE board or anything like that. I still remember my father was someone who used to take holidays for 1 month. Uh, because every time before my board examinations, like be it 10th, 12th, or even in my engineering time. And in that 1 month, he will just sit with me and teach me everything. Like he'll be like, okay, give me your notes. Okay, what all do you remember? Let's do this. So we'll sit like 12 to 16 hours a day, and we'll just finish everything off. And my very first research paper as well, which I wrote, it was something like I was dictating and my father was typing. So it has been a teamwork in my family always. And my mother will just be like, okay, take this coffee, take something to eat, take this, take that. So yeah, my it's been a teamwork. Wherever I have reached today, it's been an entirely team effort, not like I just got an opportunity, I picked it up, worked alone and something. Aisa kuch nahi tha. It was a team effort. So that's about my family. And yeah, I guess that is it.
Wow. So let's go to your college days. How was the experience and how did it lead to you for your forming your tech startup in the space industry?
Okay. So I'll start my college since 11th and 12th itself. So when I was in 11th, I got this opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, to write a research paper. And now that it was selected, I had already become this a little famous in my college. Okay, this is a person whose research paper got selected. And I just wanted to keep that up for some reason. So I kept on writing papers, I kept on attending conferences. My 11th, 12th, I would say, was entirely for conferences and events more than college, with obviously some fun with my mates out there. But that was pretty less as compared to what they did. Then I entered my bachelor's. In my bachelor's, that was the time when I received the appreciation letter from the NASA director in the very first year of my engineering degree. And I had started with this non-profit organization, National Space Society USA Mumbai chapter. So I kept on working towards it, and engineering taught me more than engineering. It taught me about consistency, like just showing up every day and finishing up those assignments, or just going into that college just to file an attendance. So that is one important thing I learned. Talking about it, how it helped me start my tech startup, I would say that is a part that engineering degree or my college didn't really play a role in it. It was more of just frustration. Ki, okay, I know what I want to do, but I just can't do it because either it could be finances, millions of dollars to go to space, or it could be that I'm working at a place wherein they're working on some entirely different tech and not something related to me. So yeah, my college life has always been fun, more of fun. I spent my time playing table tennis. I spent my time going swimming or just athletics. And that's how I spent my entire college degree.
Wow. Okay, Akshat. Do you have any hobbies or activities that you enjoy to keep your creative energy flowing?
Yeah, obviously. I love table tennis. Obviously, I play snooker. So every Friday or Sunday, my father and I go to a sports club where we've got a membership, and we just play snooker, let's say for 3-4 hours straight, and then we'll play like different games and it's shuffle or this or that. Other than that, swimming is something I love. Traveling, exploring places. Yeah, that's I've been something into. Those are my hobbies.
Wow. Okay. Who has been your inspiration from the space industry?
From the space industry. Okay. Wow. Um, I would say it would be Ravi Margasayam. It's Dr.
Mhm.
Ravi Margasayam. So he's been working in NASA now, retired. He was the one who launched Kalpana Chawla to space along with 600-700 other astronauts to space. So he grew up in India, went to the US, studied there, and was able to achieve what I have been willing to. His journey is thoroughly inspirational for me. Something like that movie. What was that Shah Rukh Khan movie? Uh,
Swadesh.
Swadesh. So if you listen to Dr. Ravi's journey, you can correlate it with the Swadesh movie as well. Yeah, he is truly an inspiration for me.
Wow. Okay. So, are there any books, movies, or shows that have profoundly influenced your passion for space?
Passion for space, obviously, like movies. Although Bollywood could just give us Jadoo, but then there were other movies out there such as Interstellar or Martian. Or now there have been a lot of series or movies on Netflix as well, like Stowaway or Lost in Space, and all of these. So I always keep a track about these shows or movies and make sure I watch them because it kind of helps me imagine. I feel space industry is all about imagining
Yeah.
what more can we achieve or what more can we do. It's never limited. It's always about just being creative and curious. So yeah, I do keep a watch. And about books, I would say there's a book called A Quarter Million Steps. So by Alfred Warden. Four words were by Alfred Warden in that book. So yeah, that is something I enjoy.
Wow.
I guess I should have it here as well somewhere. Oh yeah. So
Wow.
A Quarter Million Steps. So this book was written by Anthony, but then forewords were by Apollo 15 astronauts. So while I was in the US, he gave handed me over the book. So yeah, this is a book I would recommend.
Interesting. That's it. Very interesting. So, Akshat, how do you manage your friendships and maintain a social life with such a demanding schedule?
I've got good friends, luckily, who understand my schedule. So one thing I try to follow is every evening, 8 to 9, I just go down for a walk, either with friends or on call with friends. So that 1 hour is completely mine, wherein there's no work, there's no team meetings, there's no, calculation mess up or anything. It's just my hour wherein I'll walk, talk, laugh. So that's how I do. And Saturday, Sunday, I usually try to keep it free. So in my family, we have this routine or a ritual that once Friday evening or Friday night comes, then everything stops for us. From Friday night to Sunday night, it's just family and friends time. So we just enjoy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. recommended also.
Yeah.
So, Akshat, imagine if you could spend one day in space, what's the one thing you would absolutely want to do?
Oh my God. Keep flying. Other than that, maybe just play games with microgravity, put water out, try to drink it, fly around. There's like a ton of things that I would like to do. If you talk to me as an entrepreneur, then obviously there would be a lot of marketing activities wherein I would put out Astroborn Aerospace's logo or mission patches out there. So yeah, there's a ton things I could do there. And obviously click a photo. Yeah, that's an important part. Me standing behind me is entire earth and I'm taking a selfie. So that's something I would surely never miss out upon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. My last question, which will be a googly one. Describe Akshat in one line.
One line. Okay. Um, hmm. I would rather just put it up in one word as well. My
Right.
entire life is summed up in one word, that is curious. Every talk of mine, every paper I've written, every article, I have always mentioned about curiosity, and I feel that's what I am, curious.
Wow. Okay. Let's have some fun. The rapid fire round. Uh, SpaceX or NASA?
SpaceX. Oh shit.
Apollo missions or Mars rovers?
Mars rovers.
Work from space or work from Earth?
Work from space.
Best place you have traveled for work?
Ah, best place ever, Los Angeles.
Wow. A dream collaboration for Astroborn?
Collaboration with SpaceX for their reusable rockets.
Wow. Life motto in one sentence.
Sorry.
One sentence. Life motto.
Keep exploring, never stop.
Wow. Go to comfort food.
Vada pav.
Uh, Favorite Maharashtrian cuisine.
Misal pav.
Okay. My last one. Sorry. Your favorite color.
Black or white? White.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah. Yes. I've got some as well.
So my last one for you to win your gift. Best piece of advice received.
Mm. Many advices received till now. I'm just combining everyone. Okay. Um, 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 yeah, to achieve any goal, there's not only one path. If you feel you're stuck, it's not the end of your journey. There are many different ways, many different routes you can take to achieve that one goal that you have in your head. So never stop. Keep on going.
Wow. So you did beautifully, and here
Thank you so much. Yeah,
that will really help you. Means
yeah,
so I'll autograph it and send it across to you.
perfect.
So, friends, it was a lovely conversation. He started his journey right from the early days. Young researcher, speaker, publisher. That is interesting journey and spending time from Friday to Sunday with his family, friends. That is also very important. And he's working in a tech startup, which is a niche area in India, the space industry. And he's working on affordable space flight and also is also taken up this of astronaut training. Interesting journey and how his parents have imbibed the values. So watch this episode. All these tech startups, founders, co-founders who want to have their own ventures, solopreneurs. This is the episode where he's working with his co-founder, developer team, meeting, traveling, so many things because this is a very promising industry. And book your flight ticket when this space flight is ready. He's offered me a space flight ticket. So my ticket is already booked. Thank you for that, Akshat. I'm just taking a liberty.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but inspiring journey at this young age, taking up this and getting inspired by that Krish movie. So many things, and he's got so many memories. So this coffee conversation is all about you going down memories, having those memories for your lifetime. So there are over 300 plus episodes with different coffee speakers, subject experts, and topics. Subscribe and you'll get inspired and have those memories for your lifetime. If you want to be featured like how Akshat was, visit our social media handles, the Emerging India Forum, our website, leave a comment or fill the form, and our team will invite you to be featured like how Akshat over a cup of coffee, having coffee conversation. So stay inspired and we meet with another coffee speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.